Game number 3 getting underway right now. Ek0p looking to take advantage, but so is ErA. We're going to see if he's brought something crazy this time or if he's going to keep playing in line like he has been so far.
You know, I really like the boxing analogy. Take it one further. I kind of feel like ErA is Muhammad Ali. Not that he's like the champ, but, you know, it's like the rope-a-dope. Just elongate the game, make it, you know, tire out your opponent, run them out of resources, and that's what he's doing this round.
Yeah, speaking of tiring out your opponents, he's queued up his mage deck, and if Ek0p's got a Keys and Mystic in here, that's really a strong point for him. But Ragnaros also a big talking point for this deck. That's dangerous for ErA.
Oh yeah, Ragnaros great against this deck. Now, when I tried to name this deck last night, you normally you're like Flood Mage, Tempo Mage. I just put ErA Mage, and there's the Keys and Mystic.
Yeah, Ek0p knows, man. He knows that if there's one way he's going to beat this strategy with a little bit of a longer game, it's going to be these Silver Bullet style cards.
Yeah, and I even almost said it in game 1 when he was playing this deck. I was like, I wonder if the Keys and Mystic is in this deck.
There's Illuminator. This looks to be like the exact same list.
Yeah, so far all these cards are pretty standard here from ErA. Now, one of the weird things about his deck, he does have Frost Novas in his deck, but no Doomsayers.
Yeah, Ek0p bringing a big game Hunter in preparation for something like Ragnaros or Alexstrasza in this deck, but understands that getting pressure on board is a big talking point against this.
Yeah, you want to actually, put ErA on the back foot. You can't just give him the time of the day to set up everything.
Yeah, we're going to see. Oh, Wrath's a great pickup. It's going to help protect his big game Hunter and shuts off a lot of potential draws ErA can get from this.
Yeah, this is a big deal here from Ek0p. If you can shut down the draw power against this deck, they don't always have the right cards at the right time. You're going to see a lot of those turns, like you saw to purple, earlier on like turn 5, they're just like hero power, you pass.
Yeah.
Ek0p's
curve is actually kind of funny to me too. Big game Hunter on turn 3, it's like unstealth Jungle Panther. He's going to be playing Harrison Jones likely on turn 5. He's just non-taunt Booty Bay bodyguards.
Lost Tall Strider.
He's just playing an arena.
Yeah.
Second Acolyte of Pain for ErA.
Yeah, I think he's gonna cash this coin in for a card here as well.
Yeah, I can't blame him for this either. He's got to find some answers to this. Double Frost Nova can buy him some time, but he's looking for some Frost Bolts, maybe Polywars or Fireballs. Wants to be able to take out these big threats in his hand right now. Double Duplicate, double Frost Nova, double Flame Strike. If he gets to a safe point, I think he's looking really good, but he's got to get there first.
Yeah, the weird thing about this deck is how you play with Duplicate as well. You can get into some weird spots where you have to be careful with it because you don't want to, you don't want to duplicate a Mad Scientist or an Explosive Sheik, one of these cards in his deck just as filler, not as a card that's actually there to, kill you or facilitate a main game plan. Because he doesn't have a lot of actual win conditions, he needs to duplicate one of those.
Yeah, so does Ek0p feel comfortable with Ragnaros on this board? Again, it's such a major threat. And, I would not at all blame him for playing it in this spot.
I think just because of the mana considerations and the way, I was about to say, maybe not.
I don't mind Swipe and Hero Power either. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You could even innervate out the Wild Growth, actually. That will still secure your Ragnaros next turn. There's not a ton of swipe targets in ErA's deck right now. The fact that this card can actually get something done.
It does kill an Illuminator, Nathan.
Way major threat for Ek0p. Illuminator gains a bunch of life. What's he going to do?
Hey, man, that card's great in this matchup.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's actually pretty darn decent for what the intent of the card is.
It generally gains you even more than 4 life, even if it dies the turn it comes into play, because it's going to gain you 4 at the end, and they have to. I mean, it's the worst feeling in the world here. It's like, I have to attack this Illuminator? Come on. Yeah,
no Flame Strike available, but you can add Sylvanas to this board and sit behind Ice Block. This is kind of a dangerous situation now because any amount of real damage extension can potentially pop this Ice Block. We're pretty confident it's Ice Block because ErA has talked about that was the other secret in his deck, but Ek0p right now, he's got Keys and Mystic and he's got a Silence for the Sylvanas.
Yeah, great draw here from Ek0p. This Keeper of the Grove can take care of the Sylvanas. ErA's going to be able to have a good turn next turn if he wanted to. He's going to be able to either trade and steal a minion here or just clean everything up with a Flame Strike. He's still going to be able to clean everything up with a Flame Strike here, and Ek0p, you have to believe he's going to push for damage here, so not the end of the world here for ErA to get this silenced.
Well, that's something that Ek0p's thinking about too, is if he silences here, does he actually trade in his Harrison Jones in that spot?
Another thing he could do is he could trade. He could get 4 damage in here, trade, let him take the big game hunter, and then just kill the big game hunter to where, he's just left with a Keeper of Grove in play.
If he's going to do that, I think silencing is just a better option on the Sylvanas and then trade in the Harrison Jones. But he's worried about duplicate right now, I think.
Yeah, I'm also not 100% sure that I agree with you there, because if he has something like Flame Strike behind it, now you're just down your entire board. And he has a silenced Sylvanas.
Well, that's why I think you have to trade in the Harrison Jones if you're going to silence.
If you're going to silence here, you have to attack with the Harrison Jones into the Sylvanas, and that's what's taking Ek0p so long to figure it out.
Yeah, he's worried about duplicating this spot. You saw ErA playing this deck yesterday, and really wanting to push instead, and that's going to actually open a window for ErA right now. Flame Strike is not only going to start putting a little bit of a clock on Ek0p, but it's also going to give him a perfect Flame Strike.
Yeah, and we talked about this at ErA. So hard to play against him, so hard to play against his secrets because you just never know what's going on. Even when you hear him talk about his deck and you hear all the secrets in it, you still, I mean, how do you play correctly here?
Well, I think Ragnaros is the way you play correctly here. Ek0p's totally okay with either one of these shots, and honestly, I'd like to see him innervate out a hero power next turn just to keep maximum pressure on the ability to pop Ice Block. Might be innervating out the Shade too. This will also put pressure on the Ice Block. But this shot from the Ragnaros is very important right now.
This is very important for ErA. Now, he has an Illuminator to gain a little bit of life back, but it's not going to be able to gain back enough to stop this Ragnaros. Ooh, Fireball picked up, though.
Now, this is suddenly turned into a nightmare spot for ErA.
Yeah, he doesn't have 9 mana, so he can't Alexstrasza yet.
He's going to have to Flame Strike and trade into Sylvanas and hope that Ek0p can't pop the Ice Block.
Yeah, if Ek0p can't block the Ice Block here, though, if he can't pop it, it actually, you know, it's a really good spot for ErA.
Yeah, I don't mind the Fireball either in this spot, and the Illuminator does also still forces Ek0p to have damage here. So I don't mind this too much.
It just matters how ErA wants to play from here, because if he does the Illuminator play, that means he very likely doesn't have to Alexstrasza himself and gets to use it against Ek0p, and that's actually a big selling point here. If he gets to actually deal the damage to Ek0p with Alexstrasza, he actually needs that.
Yeah, I don't necessarily expect him to be using Alexstrasza in an offensive measure. I think this is more of a grind battle right now, and sort of what he's looking at is how much more value can I get out of this Flame Strike later on if I just Fireball now and trade in this Sylvanas. Ek0p, you know, this is actually, I think this is a reasonable tactic. It's try to force your opponent off when they're running out of time. In ErA, you can see he's completely focused. It's not affecting him whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I would have squelched him immediately when that was going on. You don't want to get distracted. You don't want to let him, yeah, there you go. Yeah. playing back with him a little bit here.
Yeah, goes into 6. Ek0p doesn't currently have the damage. Does have the damage to pop it now. But I can tell you he wants to Keys and Mystic first and then take out ErA. And ErA, so devastated by the play. Frankly, I agree with him in this one, but this is one of the ways that ErA is going to lose, is being able to have these secrets punished. Ek0p came 100% prepared in this one. His homework paying off in this game.
Yeah, you heard ErA even say it in his interview. I'm not scared of playing against any deck in the format. I'm only scared of Keys and Mystic.